Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, people. Manny Banks here, back with another live session. All right, guys. Hello, welcome, everybody. Welcome to the regulars. Welcome to the new people. Welcome, everyone. All right. I won't waste any time here. We're going to go straight into this. Now, I have something important for you guys to look at now. I'm doing this in reverse because I think it's going to be important for you to understand this concept here. So I will do the analysis again. If you have suggestions, guys, in the comments, just give me a shout. Say, Mike, could you have a look at this crypto or that crypto? And I'll be more than happy to, okay? But in the current period of where we are in price action here, there is some very important things that I want to note out to you, all right? Now, as the title suggests today, I'm going to go through this simple point. Why is this Litecoin news good? Now, for me to explain that, I'm going to pull up a whole new chart of Litecoin, and we're going to break this down bit by bit. I want this to help you, and please never forget this teaching I'm about to give you. Now, it's an analysis and it's also a teaching at the same time. Now, you know, I'm big on trading Litecoin. I love to trade Litecoin. Litecoin is an amazing crypto to trade. Whether holding onto it, that's another story for another day, but definitely trading it, you know, definitely something that you want to hold on to for sure. All right. So I want you guys to keep your eyes peeled on what I'm about to say. Let's have a look at the price action from what the price is doing. See what happens with the market here. And then after, we can take it from there. All right. So again, there's so many things I could say, but you know, the time doesn't allow for every single thing I want to say to be said. All right. So I do apologize again. I'm trying my best to make sure I serve you all the best. All right. So as I said, guys, take advantage. I'm a servant to you. That's my job. So I want to serve you in every single way possible. So if that's the case, make sure that you're open with your questions. Ask me whatever you want to ask, you know, and yeah, let's have a good time. So without wasting any time anymore, all right, I'm going to get straight to this. All right, so why Litecoin? Why is this news important? Well, let's have a breakdown on news in general. Now, this is part of, you could say this is another part of this series of how not to fail with trading crypto. And the reason why I've put this in here, I think it's very important that you get the concept here. So why am I saying this? Well, first things first, before anything, we've had this major push down in the short region from selling, aggressive selling. The price dropped from just above $200 down to where we got to at $155. Now, what caused this? Let's do some history. Now, I always tell you guys, if you want to be a good analyst, you always want to pair up history with the charts, because in reality, what drives money economy is history, human beings, human activity. Human activity primarily is what drives the price. Yes, you could also say natural disasters can drive the price, like the tsunami in Japan affected the pricing, etc. But in general, human activity is what leads to economy, because economy is basically the connectedness of people or other countries of people working together, trading, buying, selling, and etc. All right, but let's talk about the history here. So Litecoin, this was what I'll say Bitcoin day. All right, El Salvador makes BTC legal, not VTC, I don't know that crypto, but BTC, which I do know. BTC legal tender. All right. So this is this news piece here. All right. So Bitcoin day. All right. The coronation when Bitcoin became legal tender in an actual country was right here. So at Bitcoin day right here, we had a massive short, which is a natural reaction, I believe, because of market manipulation, because there are certain institutions with a lot of money who do not have interest in allowing Bitcoin to become what we would want it to become in terms of a currency to actually help people and change people's lives. So we had a massive short. In 2 hours, we had the price dropping very rapidly. We had a $50 drop approximately. And the $50 drop is about 25, looks like about 25 to 30% of Litecoin's price in just 2 hours. Now, why is this important here, guys? Now, news, fundamental news, one of the most important things I want you to remember is this concept here. All right. And I'm going to call this concept here. This is my own Money Mike's words. So apologies, guys. I don't know what happened here. I think the signal went down, but we're back on anyway, live again. So what I'm going to do is make sure that I put the perspective here for you to see this. All right. And then after we move forward. All right. Anyway, because of the live, guys, get yourselves back in, whatever happened. Let's continue here. All right. So anyway, we had Bitcoin there, which is a moment in history. Now, after this, we had a range of accumulation here. Now, a range of accumulation means two major things, okay? This is usually a redistribution of liquidity, all right, which means that a next major move is going to happen. Now, this teaching is one of the most important things I can give you for your success as a crypto investor and as a trader too. Now, primarily as an investor, because as an investor, ranges to most of the time don't mean anything really to you. It's just the price is still, which I guess means price stability to most. All right, but this here is an accumulation of orders. All right, this is a redistribution of liquidity. Redistribution of liquidity. Now, this redistribution of liquidity right here, all right, is an important point because what we see here, I didn't have to know. Now, this spike right here, which is what I'm coming to today, all right, we didn't have to know, okay, that this spike was going to happen. All we need to look at was number one, this movement here, and number two, this movement here. Now, why these two? Now, for every major short, there would be a major long to combat that at some point. All right. Now, the fundamental reason for it can be anything under the sun, but there's always going to be a reason why the market does these kind of things. All right. If the price does a major short, unless there's something fundamentally broken in the project, all right, there is going to be some sort of short. Now, this short wasn't Litecoin's fault. This was an attack on Bitcoin, which affected the rest of the market as it would. All right. So what about here? What's happened in more recent history? So 2 days ago now, we had a major spike in Litecoin's price out of the blue. All right, major spike here. Now I'm going to change the color here so that we can see this very clearly. All right, again, stick with me, guys, and you will really pick up something that you can use for the rest of your life. All right, now here we had another piece of news. All right, so we've had an accumulation range between two pieces of news. Now I want you guys to see this point right here before I continue. Now, let's just imagine that this was what the price was doing. And, you know, one day Litecoin is going to become $1,000 a coin. What I want to say is that if you were looking at the price before this massive movement happens, you might I mean, let's just be honest. The price hasn't been doing anything. Let's say you're an investor and you've been in this for a few days now. Let's count. We're on the MT4, so we can use the counter. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. And nothing's really been going on. And it's been kind of annoying as to what's going on with the price. And you just really want to just get some money. All right. Now, let's imagine that this wasn't daily. This was monthly. Imagine you've been in a range. The price has been in a range for a very long period of time. And now it's kind of getting tiring. You want to make some money, but nothing's moving. Everything is just becoming annoying and etc. And you just really want to get your bags, man. You want to get some money. I want you to see here that you never know what could cause the price to rocket. Now, you never know when, but you could know what. And the what is this thing here called real world crypto news. And my different real world to crypto world news, what this means is when we have some form of, I'm going to put this in capitals, of adoption. Adoption. Now, this is going to be a very important word. Adoption is going to be a word that you use to make money. Now, what does the adoption mean? This is when something in the real world or something in the current structure of world we have adopts something from the crypto world. Okay, whether it's payment. So this can be anything from payment processing. So I'm going to change this here. So this can be payment processing. Okay, get the capitals the right way around. Payment processing. All right. This could be, all right, system changes, e.g., the way data is transferred, all right, or stored. All right. These are the major two. There is a third one, but I don't want to go through that just yet. All right. But at least crypto adoption has a lot to do with situations like this, where, for example, we have some form of adoption, whether it's payment processing changes, where, for example, El Salvador has accepted Bitcoin as a legal tender, which is big because we have a real world use. So in other words, this is when, and I'm going to put this here underneath. All right. It's when, all right, a crypto concept becomes a real world reality, a real world reality. All right. When a crypto project, all right, becomes a real world reality for whatever reason, that equals to major price movement. So what holds crypto back, of course, from being adopted by the whole world is number one, exposure. Because many people know of crypto, but do not know what crypto, the power of it. Okay. And when big companies, which would be what I call the big movers, so Walmart and these kind of companies, you know, decide that they want to accept something in the crypto world, is going to have a mass effect on the public. Because the truth is, as I always teach to the students and those of you who've listened to me, there is something called the sheep to shepherd ratio. And what this basically means is that in any financial, economy or any financial infrastructure, all right, the number of people who have the power to make major change within that economy or system is a lot smaller than the number of people within that system by default. All right. Now, I usually have one shepherd to maybe 100 or 200 sheep. Now, how does it work? How does a shepherd manage to control everyone? Well, he doesn't have to control or instruct everyone. He just needs to get someone that's closer to him. And then that person passes it on, kind of like Chinese whispers, and the rest is history. And it's the same in the space. If Walmart starts to do it, smaller companies will do it. The customers will start to do it. Now, imagine you're somebody who's 60 years old who, let's say, for your whole life, you've always used cash. I can use an example. For example, my parent, my dad, he doesn't believe in Bitcoin at all. He doesn't believe in crypto. He thinks it's a sham and a scam, okay, for whatever reasons, because of his mind. Now, imagine when, for example, let's say I'm from the UK. So I guess what you guys will maybe call Walmart, we have Asda or Tesco, so grocery store and other stuff. And let's say from now, the news comes out that Tesco is going to start accepting crypto as a main form of payment to pay for your groceries. Now, what do you think is going to happen at that point? At that point, he may not change to Litecoin or Bitcoin or start using crypto, but he's going to think, if the big guys are doing it, people that I've trusted for years who I've given my cash to are starting to do it, then maybe it might be all right. And that maybe it might be all right means that other people who are a bit smart will say, you know what, if the banks are going to start using this, if Tesco, Walmart, Target, shops like these are going to start using it, then I think I should go and buy some, because this is going to probably do very well. And that's how adoption comes in. So this is why this spike was so powerful, because at the news, many people probably bought Litecoin, all right, but the news came out to be fake. Now, why is this a powerful lesson that we can learn? It only takes one movement, guys, for there to be massive gains on the crypto, all right? It only takes one real world or one adoption to happen on a crypto in the real world for there to be crazy potential movement. All right. I want you guys to see that really what we're trying to do now. I know some people have this thing, well, world domination with crypto. I understand. But what we really want to do is phase in crypto by connecting, well, I would say convincing first, convincing convincing and connecting the old with the new. Now, what do I mean by that? All right, with crypto is, of course, got some features that when we had the revolution of the internet didn't have. For example, a change of economic system. Now, the connectedness of the internet brought wealth, but it didn't necessarily bring a new form of economy. Crypto is dealing with economics and some of the flawed economics that we've been living in since 1913, when the Federal Reserve Central Bank was first opened. So in that regards, I understand that crypto is going to have a bigger struggle fighting this thing called fighting its way into what we call adoption, compared to what we had with the internet. The internet, the only reason why it took a little bit long for it to come out there, but still had great progress, is because the internet was just a technological advancement which affected the whole world. Crypto is more than a technological advancement. It's an economical advancement. It's a socio-economical advancement. It has a lot more going for it in terms of how much change it's going to bring to the world compared to the internet. So the struggle is real when it comes to crypto. So it may take longer. Now, the struggle is real period, I'm going to call this here. These reaccumulation of orders here are the struggle is real period. This is the period that we want. I want to put this here. The struggle is real. All right. Now, you never know. Now, let's say that this movement was sustained, because the news did come out fake. All right. It's not real news. It was hearsay. But I just want you to see how powerful things can happen, or how powerful situations like these of Walmart's announcement can change the face of a crypto in a day. You know, in just that one moment, the price literally recovered all of the loss that it made from Bitcoin Day in literally 1 hour. And this movement took 1-2 days to happen, and in 1 hour it's recovered. Imagine the difference in there. So that's what I'm trying to say to you guys, that don't be emotional about anything you do. Think about it properly. But this was the lesson, very short and sweet. I'll continue this again another time. I'm going to quickly hand over to my news pieces, and let's have a look at them and see what's going on. So let's look at the news. I'm just going to look at a few. So to do the due diligence, here's a 2-minute read. I'll put the link beneath here for you guys to see this. This was yesterday. So Reuters fake Walmart. This is the fake Walmart Litecoin news. Now, there's a cries for regulation because of this, but that's another situation for another day. But let's have a look here. Now, Reuters says it's hard to know what's legitimate in the anything goes world of crypto. That's what they believe. Now, the latest example is the fake press sent on Monday, in which Walmart purportedly announced it was accepting Litecoin, a Bitcoin spin-off. The lesser-known digital assets value shot up by more than 30% after some media outlets reported the phony news. Now, US regulators are accustomed to cracking down on such scandals when they plague the stock market. For example, 2014, the US Securities and Exchange Commission charged father and son executives of New Jersey penny stock company for issuing bogus press releases and things of that nature. All right. Now, there may have been similar enforcement in Litecoin cases, but overall, watchdogs are only looking into how to regulate currencies more, or cryptocurrencies more. All right. In the meantime, anyway, digital assets are gaining wider use. El Salvador's president Nayib Bukele said that last week it was going to adopt Bitcoin as an official currency. Crypto credit cards and debit cards, along with loans and other traditional finance products, are being offered to consumers. Fake Walmart Litecoin news offers financial cops and other reasons to hop onto it, which I agree with. So very simple news, guys. I'll put this out here. So the news was fake, but I feel like the fakery has kind of exposed a bigger issue, which is not an issue, but a blessing in disguise, which is where we are in the crypto space, guys. We're getting much closer to adoption than you think we are. Okay. It only takes for there to be one more news that is actually real, and the price is going to take off. Now, I'm going to demonstrate this very quickly with some history of Bitcoin quickly, and then we're done. So if I go over to Bitcoin right now, let's go right here to BTC. All right, I'm going to go to where we are at the moment. Let's do some history. So you guys remember that we talked extensively about many different things in terms of the long and the short. We went through together everything from the high points to the low points in the price, but I'm going to start from here. All right. So I'm going to use a plethora of colors to try to give you guys a clear view. So this demand zone on the daily time frame, let's start here. The price had been bouncing in here almost about 9 times, closer to 11 times in terms of the bullish activity that was going on. Now, when the price closed beneath this area and returned, all right, specifically, and right here, in this point in history right here, I'm going to see if I can just use this as a marker. This point in history right here, we had an announcement. Now, in terms of traditional trading, this demand zone here is a D1 demand zone. So I'm going to mark this out one more time so that we're clear here. So on the D1, we have a daily demand zone. Okay. So this daily demand zone that we're working with right here, what did we get? So this daily demand zone, so body close beneath the low, was right here. So at this point right here, we had a body close beneath the low, and this body close beneath the low, okay, in essence, was the signal for bearish activity. Why? Because if the body of the candle closes beneath a demand zone, that means that we've got into supply. All right. So on the return, my entry initially for the sell was supposed to be right here. This is what we wanted. So on the pullback right here, we were looking for the potential sell. All right. So right here, let's put this arrow the right way. So right here, this is where the sell was supposed to be, right? Here we go. So this is where we were looking at. We wanted a sell from here, looking for a strong sell. Now, this sell would have pushed the price down towards where I still believe it will go to at some point in history, which is back beneath, first of all, to about 23 to 25. That was the first kind of aim that we had going on. Yeah. Now, second, the moment we had that, okay, and the timing is too immaculate. All right, the price broke past this supply zone. So if I range everything from here, let's use a different color. Let's find something that actually will look okay to use. I'm going to go for Nahavaro white. That will do. So at this period right here, we had a very important piece of news. And in essence, is the same news that we had with Walmart. Okay, now apparently the results or the news was not true, but the price still took off anyway and hasn't come back even a bit just yet. All right. Right here, we had news at the same time. So on the Sunday, now I don't know why I have sell with 1L and I think that's just a typo here. All right. So right here, if we go to what happened on that piece of news, what did we actually have? Well, during that period of time when the news was happening here, we had Amazon news of accepting BTC and others from 2022 as payment. Okay. So I'm just going to put that there in short so that you guys know what I'm saying. So Amazon news of accepting, not expecting, accepting. All right. Accepting BTC and others for payment from 2022. All right. So Amazon accepting BTC and other payments forms for paying for goods and services from 2022. Now, we know in the crypto world, we already have something like that, which is shopping.io. But Amazon is also, well, this is the news about it anyway. It doesn't mean it's true. Now, according to Amazon, they came out to say it's not true. But notice the price didn't respond to that and the market still continued very strongly bullish. All right. Now, why am I saying this? When we look at the history here, the news that we're seeing that the market is producing in this point of history has been very instrumental in our movements that we see in long and short. Now, why is this one so important? Because again, it's not now, if there was news on Bitcoin, let's say, for example, the Lightning Network did an upgrade to increase the speed of what we got going on, or something happened on that front, then it would be it would cause probably some reaction, but nothing much. But again, what do we have here? Real world. So Amazon is the real world and BTC is the crypto world. All right. Now I'm being careful because you could call it, I didn't want to call crypto like, for example, the digital world or the made up world, because crypto is very, very real. So I'm choosing my words carefully. I've just called it the crypto world. So real crypto world. All right. Let's change that because that says real news. We need real world. So the real world doesn't necessarily mean that crypto is not real because I'm calling the real world. But another way I can say this is that the world that's established now, or the current system that we have, crypto is also a system of things. What we have right now in our system is also a way of doing things. So in other words, when crypto's way is adopted by the real world way or by the current world way, that equals to adoption, and that means massive gains on the price. And the actual trigger where we saw the price go from these lows of 31, 32, all the way up to where we got to until the algorithmic level on the weekly right here at this point is essentially due to, this was the sparking plug, or the sparking plug. I'm thinking about cars. This is the spark point, or the fuel to the fire to cause the price to do what we've seen here. So I'm saying this to say that you have to keep out your eyes for this adoption stuff that I've been talking about. And it's not just an adoption stuff, as people say. This is so crucial to the price. So to end off here, guys, giving you this example, what is Bitcoin doing today? What can we go for? So what I'm going to go through here is I'm going to go back to the notes that we were looking at. Now, at the moment, Bitcoin was showing very good signs. Now, I'm going to quickly use the daily structure to show you this one point. So I've kept the algorithmic level where it is at 5,200 or 52,800. I need to stop saying 5,200 is 52,800. All right. Now we have this area here, which is our supply zone. It's an area of supply. Okay. And what have we had? So we had an A swing appear over here. So put the A where the A is supposed to go. And then we had the B swing over here. Now, this spike down here has triggered a C. Now, the market structure is still bullish because the body of the candle has not closed beneath the A swing. All right. I want to make that clear. Now, there is another A swing here, so you could argue it starts here, but specifically this supply zone, anything that has broken above and return, I'm considering the first swing from here. So I'm starting from this point right here. So the swing low formed here is A, and clearly the wick of the candle has closed beneath this area at A. And we've had the B swing here, and now the price is producing along. So for me, when I'm looking at the price action here, there is still very clear signs for a bullish activity. And we came back to the crux point again. Now, what do I mean by the crux point? This crux point here is a point, I wouldn't say the point of no return, but it's a very important point here to add. So what I'm going to do, let's use a different color. Let's see if I can change this color out here, rectangle. So let's go back to our gray, slate gray. All right, so this supply zone here is the key information we need. Now, I told you, if at any time the body of the candle, and there was danger of that 2 days ago, if the body of the candle had closed beneath here, then we're going to enter back into supply, which would carry the price back down to 29. I can actually bet my whole trading account on this for sure. But for now, you can see at this crossroad here, we had quite a lot of spiking, but the Bitcoin has found its feet and is pushing back long again. If there was any type of break beneath here, then we would be going down for a short, and then the rest is history moving forward. Okay. Now, on that note here of what we're seeing with Bitcoin, what can we do to take advantage of the movement? Well, let me go to the H1 on this same time frame here. So bearing in mind, guys, this is our C point for the moment. Now, I gave you guys a trade which is about to happen. So if you want to get into this now, I would say get yourselves in here. So we have a H1 supply zone, which has been the balancing point for the price. This has been the cap of moving any further into bullish activity. And to the left here, we have a full void of liquidity, at least until the 5100 mark, which means we have a clear movement to the left. Now, the last high that the market could interact with is this point right here. And so if we wanted an entry for Bitcoin, what would the entry be? Now, this H1 supply zone that we have here. So let's go H1 supply. H1 supply zone. Now, why am I giving this out? This is for trading crypto. Investing in crypto, we can talk about different ways we can use this, but for the current time we have a H1 supply zone. The price entered into this area here, which gave us a short from this point all the way down to the lowest point. We had a spike here, but no return. And just early this in the morning for us in GMT time, so specifically 11 o'clock, price spiked into here. And notice we have another one of those accumulations. We had accumulation, a pullback to demand just beneath, because the price will need to find some area of liquidity to push up as it has now, which was this spike here. And now the price has broken long. However, in order for us to get an entry on this, we need a return back into this zone right here. Because if the price breaks the supply zone for reoptimization, it's going to come back to the other side and produce a long. So what I'm looking for is a pullback down here. And then from this point, a long right here. So this is going to be the movement that I would like to see right here. So if you want an entry, guys, I'm looking for the price to pull back down to around about 4,700 and 47,110. And my stop loss, if I were you, will go beneath here. And we have a very clean trade all the way up to the 51 mark. But it depends on what Bitcoin does, because it could really rocket from where it is and not come back. But I expect a pullback. Let's see what happens with this. If the price doesn't pull back, it doesn't pull back. But here's my trade for you guys. And this is the expectation I have. So I would say for now, keep your eyes peeled. All right. Bitcoin is pushing long, and which means other cryptos should be doing the same. So here we go, guys. You can see here, this 30-minute or is on the 30-minute and on the hourly, but on the 30-minute here, this demand zone has supported the price, from dropping beneath that mark I was telling you about of $2. And we're approaching the next areas of supply. So you can see from today, we've gone from $2.35 to $2.55, which is a healthy, 0.2 increase or 20-cent increase, which is nice. And from the looks of this, is set to continue. If the price breaks past this area, then I'll say it's good. I always told you guys with Cardano, it's always a good time to buy. I believe Cardano, as Charles Hodgkinson said, I believe it is going to be a Fortune 500 company simply because he's going slow and steady. His smart contracts have been released quite late compared to others, but nonetheless, it's looking good. All right. And I think in the first 24 hours, if I'm correct, yes, the first 24 hours, Cardano actually saw an increase of, he saw 100 developers launch projects in the first 24 hours. Amazing. So we're going to see more value in the Cardano system. And I think, it's just the beginning. So let's see what happens there. Let's look at DOT. So DOT or Polkadot is still doing what needs to be done. It's not near its all-time high yet, but as I've told you guys, from the structure of price here, it looks like it's getting very close to doing so. Solana, I gave a shout to you all yesterday. The price has returned to the demand zone, so we did get the 145, and at the moment we have an accumulation. Now with Solana, because Solana switched off, all right, I'm sure many people thought the price was going to crash, but the problem has been fixed. All right, now the crashing of Solana is kind of good because it means the network activity is high, but I do expect this to continue. But if we do get the break beneath here, and if you're taking notes, please do, the price will get its way to 120 and possibly even to 86 if the price breaks beneath. At the moment, we have another range of accumulation kind of from the hourly, not the largest range, quite fluid anyway. A characteristic or a better range would be something along the lines of this where the candles are small. But overall price is looking quite good anyway. All right, now let's look at Ethereum here. So Ethereum, guys, as I spoke to you guys yesterday, is in this major territory here. This 3,000 mark is a very important point psychologically and technically speaking. Now, at the moment, it looks as though Ethereum is edging past this H4 and daily supply zone. So if there is a close above this area, guys, then I would expect for the price to get back that up to at least 37 and even back up to 38. All right. Now, if it doesn't close there, then it should be going back short again. But this is going to be a major breaking point for Ethereum. Ethereum needs to close above, let's just say close at least at $3,500 for us to be safe to know the price is continuing. And that will be great. But for now, we just have to stay tuned, folks, and just let the price be the price. But if we have a daily close here, now you could use the H4 to project this, but I'm not using the H4 because the H4 is at 35. And in terms of, order of time frame, the daily time frame is a stronger time frame than the H4, simply because there's more price data and and therefore more liquidity in that time frame than the H4. So for me, if we just get a daily close above this supply zone here, that would be good enough. I'm sure there will be a pullback, but the price should launch and get back up to this 38.95, so just less than 3,900, and that would be a good little move trading wise. And also, if you've just invested in Ethereum or are looking to, then maybe you might want to have a look at this. Now, the final decision is yours. I'm not a financial advisor, and this doesn't constitute a financial advice. So have a look at this and see what's going on. But from the look of the markets, guys, things are looking on the up. But primarily, I'll be keeping my eyes on what Bitcoin does and looking for that pullback. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any questions, let me know. Shout me out. And then after, we can get ourselves going good. So I'll catch you guys on the next one.